anyway, DuckDuckGo is, if you didn't know, if you haven't been on streams where people use this, it's um, a search engine that blocks advertising trackers. It keeps your search history private, and you take control of your personal data. So it's really nice, um, because that stuff's important. If you don't know why that's important, we should probably talk about it. But a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing is related to just, let's say, uh, college student. So one of the things that happened recently is that there was a college student that was stabbed to death in a Manhattan park, and so this was like across, I think, from Brown. It was at an all girls school there, and it illustrates one of the fatal mistakes of people in college, especially on campuses, that you think you're safe just because you're on a college campus or you go to college. Like, you're not. And so what happened here was that this person was just walking at a specific time of day that was darker, and they were vulnerable, and they were attacked, and they were killed, and not far away from security. She was actually able to walk up to security, and I mean, this is horrible. It's a horrible tragedy, but she was found, like, right there. Like, the security booth was where she ended up collapsing. And a 14-year-old was questioned on this murder, and a 13-year-old was arrested Friday and charged with murder, robbery, and weapons possession. And then he made statements incriminating himself and implicating two other individuals, possibly this 14-year-old. So 13-year-old kids, 14-year-old kids murdered a college student right, like, 200 feet away from a security booth at a college. Now, why would I bring this up? Like, this isn't happy. That's not fun. And you're right. That's not fun. it's it's not a good thing. But it's real. It's a thing that is real. And one of the things, it illustrates a couple things, and I want to talk about, like, what that how to avoid that, basically. So first, let me talk about what this indicates. This is exactly what I'm talking about as it relates to culture and society today. Do you know how much easier it is to just steal somebody's money than it is to, like, make money, or like, for instance, try to start a business or work? At 14 and 13 years old, working sucks. You get terrible jobs. I know, I was working at that age. You get treated poorly. It's not a good job. You get taken advantage of oftentimes by poor employers. It's not happy, and it's grueling at times. I remember having to go, this is, I feel like such, hey, back in my day, I had to go to I worked at an emporium, and I had to carry 25-pound dog food bags from the basement up to the top when people wanted to buy them, because we would get pallets of them, and then we would just bring them upstairs when people needed it. And so there were many times where I was asked to take a stack of them and put them on the shelves upstairs. And then as soon as I finished doing that, I was told, no, I don't want those there anymore. I don't like that. Go put those back downstairs. There were cement bags I had to carry back and forth up and down. This was just a regular part of the job. I get it. It's not easy. It's not fun. So imagine how much easier it is to just, steal somebody else's money. And that's what happens. And so people just do what's easy, the path of least resistance. Ironically, it turns out not to be easy at all. It turns out to ruin your life. This person is arrested and charged with murder at 13. This kid's life's over before it even started. What does that mean? This kid's life is over before it started. He followed the path of least resistance. He did not care enough about himself. He didn't care enough about his future. He didn't care. He didn't care. And in this way, this is a lot like video games and stuff like that now, is that this kid just, I mean, he's an asshole. He's a terrible human being. I mean, allegedly. And people like that go and do things like this, They didn't do that overnight. It was not just an all of a sudden thing. It is following a steep slope, a path of least resistance. And what ends up happening is that life gets so ridiculously hard because you've made it way too easy for yourself. So one of the secrets here is to make things, do the hard things in life. Don't like make it hard for yourself. Like don't do something in a stupid way just to make it harder for yourself. But look at this person. She looks very happy. It's a beautiful human life that ended because the path of least resistance. And it really is an evil in the world that you have people dying over this, over a what starts out as like I don't care about doing schoolwork, or I'm just gonna have the easiest time possible this week, or I really want that phone, but I don't really want to work for it. That's a lot of money, and I don't really see myself working long enough to get that money. That turns into stealing, that turns into more stealing, it turns into robbery, it turns into killing somebody. This is not the first time that story's happened. So that's the first part. The second part of the story that I want to tell you is how to avoid this. Don't travel alone on campus, especially in cities, but not always. Just don't travel alone on campus at night. And I don't care who you are, male or female, whatever. Have some sort of protection that's whatever's legal on campus, whether that's like pepper spray or whatever. Know where security is and always be ready to run. And this is one of the things that I find really odd today about like kids that I work with, especially like younger kids. They literally don't know how to hurry. Like they don't know how to run. Like or just move quickly or do anything quickly. Like there's no urgency. You know what I mean? Like there's no urgency for things. And there's a problem with that because if you don't know how to be on alert, if you don't know how to hurry up, you could get caught up in something like this. I mean, this could be she was 200 feet away from the security booth. That's the difference between life and death. Imagine that you realize very late in a situation that it's dangerous. If you're not ready to boom, run, you could be in a really bad situation. And I could tell you that as a personal story. I mean, I was in a situation where it was late at night. My friends had left for the night. We went out together, and then I was helping somebody out who was at the same place that I was. So I was helping him find a bank and then the bus station because I knew where they both were. I lived in the city for a long time, and he just started getting weird, like really weird, right in front of a gas station. Lights are on. I mean, like we're in the middle of a place where there's clearly people who would be able to see, and he pulls a knife on me and he tells me, "Get on your knees," and he's going to rob me. I ran, man. I ran really fast, very far away from him in very short order, and there was no way he was going to be able to catch me. My reaction was very quick to just go. I mean, I also told him some choice words I'm not going to say on here, but you get the point. The point, I got away because I was ready to run at a moment's notice. Like everything was normal and fine, and then all of a sudden the guy turned into a Looney Tune. I'm not going to be there to find out. I'm not going to be slow and find out what he's going to do with that knife, because why does he have one and why is he pulling it out on me in the first place? This can happen to you. It happens every day, literally, that people have knives pulled on them, that they're attacked, they're accosted, they're robbed. So stay in groups, stay away from walking around at night when you don't need to. Know where the security booths or exits are, where there's phones. Have your phone ready on you when if you have to walk alone. Be on the phone with somebody and have them ready to dial 911, and keep them abreast of where you are. These are all ways that you could protect yourself. So yeah, so that's one of the things that we're going to look at. Then we're going to look at so we're going to go to the University of Maryland, not the so this is one of the things I want to talk about too, which is awesome. And we'll talk about online schools too, just here and there, because I have thoughts. It's not all negative, actually. There's a lot of positive things about online schools. But University of Maryland Online versus the University of Maryland. And then there's the University of Maryland Global Campus, umgc.edu. So these are not the University of Maryland, just so you know. But if you look at the color scheme on this one, it's trying very hard to mirror this one. And then there's the University of Maryland, Baltimore, which is UMB, which is also not UMD, which is the University of Maryland. This is the only University of Maryland. And yet, when I put in University of Maryland website, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, University of Maryland, like there are a lot of different University of Marylands that are not University of Maryland. I mean, there's some that are, like, obviously, but I just think that's funny. So let's go onto their website. Season's greetings from UMD. Now look at this beautiful website. They got video, they've got scrolling, they have catchphrases, moving on but staying in the game. They've got, looks like, people from Star Trek. They got some business people in there. They're ghosts because they're not really in the scene. Probably cropped them from different pictures. None of those people were in that building. Look at all that. This is a beautiful website. And yet, if I go look for what I do for myself as a student inside UMD, this is not obvious. So it turns out this website's not actually great for students. It's great for alumni, it's great for people looking to go to the University of Maryland, but this is not a great usable website for students. Like news and events, alerts, okay, I guess I could find those. But what am I trying to do? When I'm a student, what should I always be doing when I'm going onto a website? Like I should be going on and being able to just look up my stuff. So I don't know I don't even know where I would look for this. Like, I guess academic calendar, for instance. Now I know where the calendar is. I don't know. Let's say I'm a College of Education student. Student resources. I mean, now you see how many times I've clicked through just for this. Like I've been looking. This is like 4 clicks to find out where the heck my stuff is. Like I'm trying to find student services. Let's say that now I have to go to undergrad studies. This ain't EQ, bro. Oh yeah, sorry, man. I changed the title on it after I went off of EQ. Right now, I'm just going over college websites, and then I think I'm going to do the Outer Worlds. But yeah, sorry about that. So now I'm on student services. I have clicked 5 times, and I found really nothing easy for me to utilize. Like the student portal is not readily available. Now, a lot of schools have a separate website for their student portal, right? But like, let's take for instance, again, this doesn't have a video. It has the same kind of taglines. I can give still, but look at this login is right here. So this all lives on one website. I can log into my Framingham. I can go to my email. I can go into whatever the hell Ramlink is. I can go into the job portal. This is all one click. I hovered over on the main website. I could put in my university email address and I could sign in and I can get what I need directly from the website. So it doesn't matter where I am. I could be on my phone, I could be on here. Now, why do I bring this up? If you're at college and you're not using Blackboard, you're not using the IT stuff, you're not going on to your portal for your student information, if you don't regularly know how to look for your classes, look for your transcript, look for your professor directory, look for what your class title is, look for where your books are, if you're not super familiar with that, you're at a disadvantage at school. And the funny thing is, like, they can't force you to get good at this. This is not something that, like, I mean, they show it to you, but nobody forces you to get good at using your website properly, which is sad. It's a shame because these portals have everything and they're all at your fingertips, but sometimes it takes 8 clicks and it's not so intuitive. What are all the things though that matter? Like, so why does it matter for me to want to actually get into my website? Like if I want to get let's say I want to get an internship and they're like, well, what's your GPA right now? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think last semester I saw that it was like a 3.7, but I don't know. Well, what are your grades so far in your classes? I don't know. Well, where do you find that? I don't know. So now I got to call somebody, or I got to ask somebody. I got to click around here a whole bunch. On a website like this, it's very easy to see all the places that I can actually jump onto, and like the self-service or like my Framingham, where I could just go on here and I can look for all the services that the school has. That's super helpful. And so I know I can just grab all the stuff that I need right from just typing in framingham.edu. Versus if I go to umd.edu, I mean, I can search and oh, look at that. I hit the search bar and now I'm finding some resources. But again, it's just the academic calendar. And then I go to Testudo, which I love the names of these things that schools have. Testudo. It sounds like this is in beta. It's Testudo. So interactive web services, find it fast, parent access, like transfer credits, student financials, tutoring services. So you can find all this stuff, but if you're not familiar with it, you're not going to use it. If you don't use it, you're at a huge disadvantage. So, one of the things that I like to jump on is like look at these websites and then walk people through and just kind of see how that works. Now, the other thing that's really fun is Rate My Professor. And no, it's not just fun because you see the tamales next to the professors. It's fun because it is very helpful information. So I am looking for at Messiah College. And the name is John Bechtold. He's got a 3.66 out of 5, which is cool, right? That's not the worst. Oh, I hate ads where you actually have sounds. But so this is like what's really helpful about getting on sites like this is you actually find out from people, like it's like Yelp for professors, and that it's not always accurate, same as Yelp. But look at what this says. Dr. B is extremely passionate about what he teaches. I had him for both cognition and experimental psych. So obviously, if you're looking for that class, you know that he teaches those. He's a tough grader and expects you to work hard, but he's there to help you wrestle through the material. He cares deeply for his students, both inside and outside of the classroom. Definitely one of my favorite professors. So I can tell you for a fact, this is true. This is accurate. Dr. Bechtold is exactly that. He is hard. It's a hard class. Cognition especially is really difficult, but and experimental psych is tough too, but he's always available and ready to help you. So this is a really helpful review. And then you can look at the other professors too. But imagine, like, let's say that you're looking for an elective in psychology at Messiah. And you're like, oh, well, I don't know who this guy is, but, cognition seems pretty straightforward. That's probably easy. Yeah, that's pull up, because you're not going to get an easy A in that class at all. It's probably going to be a B class, especially if you're just looking for like a cakewalk elective for your psych stuff. I think cognition's a requirement, but like, let's say that magically it's not. You did some other class and you didn't look at the Rate My Professor on this. You just screwed yourself out of a good grade for the semester, and then you're going to end up with a lot lower than a 3.66 out of 4. So that's one of the things that I think is actually really helpful about Rate My Professor. So that's a fun website, and I like to go, like, if people ask me to throw professors up there, I will do that. I think that's worth our time. I think that it makes sense for us to look at different professors and, make sure that they know what they're getting into. Oh, that's interesting. Twitter, Reddit, blog. Huh. So anyway, look at DuckDuckGo when you get a chance. And you can do themes and stuff. I mean, it's just customizable and stuff anyway. It's fun. And they don't store your personal information. And I will get into a tirade about that at another time. So anyway, that's just some of the stuff there. One of the things for the Debate Me section of a lot what we're going to be doing, I showed this before, but we're going to pick debate topics. And we may pick them from LD, or I may have you guys vote on them from, like, and we're going to do tough stuff. Like, I don't care if it's controversial. We're going to do tough stuff like abortion. Should abortion be legal? And we're going to look at the argumentation for that. We're going to look at taglines for both sides. We're going to look at the arguments that support both sides. And we're going to try to articulate those sides as best as we can, because the only way we're going to be able to have intelligent conversations about things is by actually looking at how to discuss them, the vocabulary. We need to have the same vocabulary. We need to understand and have accurate vocabularies. And then we need to make arguments back and forth based on the facts and the research and the vocabulary, not the rhetoric and not miscommunication. Like animal testing. Should animals be used for scientific or commercial testing? That's tough. March of Dimes thinks so, and PETA does not. So these are the things, but that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. All right, so now we're going to spend a little bit of time on the Outer Worlds. Not a ton of time. I'm not going to spend forever playing the Outer Worlds because I've already been going an hour and 41 minutes, and I'm not going to spend more than 2 hours today. A lot of this, like I said before, is really a test run. So it's not going to be that. So let me edit the title again so I don't get more people saying this ain't Google searching college stuff, bro. I love this guy. User 44. This ain't EQ, bro. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that.